Greetings everyone, welcome back again. Another live video on the same day, on this amazing launch day of my book, Becoming Bully Proof. And this of course is the author's copy, and it's got that ring around there. It says not for resale, because my copies haven't come in yet. I just ordered them, but I'm hoping that they'll be in tomorrow. And I know so many friends have ordered today, and I'm so very grateful and so blessed beyond words for all the shares, the likes, the comments, the feedback. And man, oh man, we are really ranking high in the search engines. We've hit number one new release bestseller in a number of categories. Thank you so very much for that. And what that does is it just moves it up higher in the search engine, so people are able to find the book a little bit easier, which is fantastic, because the goal is to get this baby in the hands of as many people as possible to help make a dramatic impact in the lives of parents, teens, kids, and adults, to help empower them to become, like it just says, becoming bully proof. And there it is, right? Yeah, Becoming Bully Proof. You can find it on Amazon. I posted a direct link right here in the comments, and that link is bullyproofingkids.com. It's a direct link right to the Amazon page, so you can pick one up. I encourage you to pick up a couple and then share one with somebody that you know could benefit from it. And then after you've had a chance to read it, please go back and leave a review. And all those 5-star reviews will once again help push it higher in the search engines. So this video I wanted to talk about, earlier I filmed a video on why I wrote the book. And just a quick recap for those that missed it. Why I wrote the book? Well, simply because it's everything well, I guess it's almost a what. It's what I wish or I had when I was younger. So I know I get questions every single day, literally every single day. Not only at the Martial Arts Academy, we were there every day, but here on Facebook and messengers. And congratulations, Rich. Thank you so much, Gordon. Appreciate you, buddy. God bless. And Gordon's in the Community Connected Leaders Academy. Good friend there. But it's several reasons why. The second leading cause of death for ages 10 to 34 is suicide. Wow. I mean, that's insane, isn't it? It is. And another reason why I wrote it is because there's billions, that's with a B, billions of people go to bed every single night lacking hope, faith, belief, self-confidence that tomorrow's going to be any better, and they have no way of knowing how to make it any better. So there's two big, huge reasons why I wrote the book. And probably the biggest reason is to empower kids with the tools, the courage, the self-confidence, the belief in themselves that I never had. So now, what's the book about? Well, the book is essentially me as a 12-year-old meeting me as Master Grogan 40 years later, and we go on a journey together where the older me is the mentor, the guide, the hero in a sense to the younger me. But more than just being a hero to the younger me, my goal is to empower the younger me, or all the readers who will definitely connect with the younger me in the story. And it's written for kind of middle school age. It's a middle school novel, but for ages 10 to about 15, 16 is kind of the maturity level that it's written for. But obviously kids much older than that can read it, and kids younger than that could read it too. But I encourage parents to read it to kids younger than that, and then I encourage parents to read it as well to pick up all the lessons, the strategies, the experiences, the wisdom, and everything that's in the book to help empower them to once again help empower their kids to become bully proof. So the older me is empowering the younger me to be the hero that I was always looking for. And there's all kinds of great stories. It's a novel, and it's true. It's based on my life events, around my life events as a kid, growing up poor on a farm, growing up being bullied, wanting to quit hockey when I was younger. I always wanted to be a pro hockey player, but I definitely wanted to give up and quit when I was younger due to bullying. And I talk very transparent about that in the book, and talk about what I went through and what I could have and should have done to overcome that. And then as the older me comes along, and I don't want to say saves the day, because the whole idea of empowering through this book is the same lessons we teach at the Martial Arts Academy, is knowing that I can't always be there. Just like as a parent, you can't always be there, but you want to give your kids the tools, the wisdom, the experience, the knowledge, the courage, the confidence, the hope, the faith, to believe in themselves, so not if but when they're encountered with bullying, either real or in their mind. And I talk a lot about that too, because oftentimes we just think bullying occurs in the locker room or the playground or in the hallway, but we know it obviously occurs online with this thing. And parents, just a little, if you bought this for your teenager, which I'm sure you did, then this is your phone. That means you have every right to look at this thing anytime you want. And I talk about that in the book as well. So, and then that's just a way of protecting your kids and keeping them safe. Because, man, I tell you what, we as adults get bullied here on social media. And we're adults. We knew life before social media. There's no way our kids are prepared for all the dangers that are out there. Not only bullies, but predators, groomers, and manipulators out there that are just preying on weak, innocent victims. And that's what they unfortunately do. And the whole part of the book, once again, is empowering kids. My man Gordon says, critical message, thank you for being courageous enough to be transparent and vulnerable to be able to write about this. Thank you, Gordon. Yes, sir. Thank you. That warms my heart hearing you say that. Giving them tools, strategies to be able to get through things in a positive way. And that's exactly it, too. Oftentimes, a parent will get so fed up that their child is being bullied and they don't know what to do or who to turn to, so they just tell the kid to punch the other kid in the face. Now, yeah, that will probably solve the bullying, but oftentimes what happens is it turns the kid into a bully themselves, or they get obviously punished for it, and then they become so afraid to do anything at all. Now, I'm not saying, and I talk about in this book, that if it gets physical, I teach you how to physically defend yourself with a more effective, and a safer way than just punching another kid in the face. We do what's called a palm strike to the solar plexus, but that is the absolute last resort, and that's only if it gets physical. When it gets physical, you need to physically defend yourself. But we go through what's called the A, B's, and C's. A is awareness and avoidance. Do everything you can to be aware and avoid dangerous situations. Aware and avoid dangerous negative self-talk, which can be equally as dangerous when a child is constantly beating themselves up, saying, I'm worthless, I'm nobody, I'm no good, nobody likes me, I might as well just die. I mean, these are horrible words, but these are words that come out of kids' mouth way, way too often, and oftentimes they're going to say that stuff under their breath. So as a parent, and I talk about it once again in the book, things for you to be aware of and help your child avoid. And then we move on to the B. The B is believe in yourself with your bully-proof armor, and I talk about ways to strengthen that armor. And it's almost like, and I talk about the silly little nursery rhyme and that we talked about as kids. I'm rubber and you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. You all remember that? Well, we talk about it in the book because that's powerful. And that's what your bully-proof armor is all about, is building that up with your self-confidence where those arrows bounce off. And I'm talking about the two most vulnerable parts are your heart and your mind. And so that's basically what the book's all about. And, I thought I'll go ahead and read the back. This is the back of the book, which is really powerful. And I tell you, it took, oh my goodness, I don't know how long to condense everything down into what I wanted to say in a book that was, spicy enough to grab your attention, but also got the point across of everything the book's all about. Oh, and my friend Danica. Danica, God bless you. You've shared this so many times today, and I couldn't be more thankful for just a beautiful, wonderful inside and out Ziegler sister. And you invited me to the CL, Connected Leaders Academy. And now you said mental scars are often so much more damaging than physical scars. Oh my gosh, well, you are 1,000% spot on. And that's what I talk about. I mean, the opening part of the book talks about me waking up in a panic state from a dream, which happens more times than I'd like to admit, because those mental scars, and I talk about physical scars will always heal. But the mental scars, Gordon's questioning me here on the C. I'll get that in a second, sir. Thank you for helping me. The mental scars are cut deep. They are, and they rarely ever go away. And it's so unfortunate. But I go over different ways on how to strengthen those. But the biggest thing you got to do is dig out those weeds. I call them weeds in your mental garden. You got to dig them out so you can plant the positive seeds to grow what you want in there. And so anyway, back to my man Gordon. B is believe in yourself. C is communicate clearly with your tiger's eyes and lion's voice and your posture, your confident posture. Because if you carry yourself in a defeated manner, not only psychologically is it debilitating, but the way you present yourself is easy prey. And I give the example, the lion goes after the weakest gazelle, never the strongest gazelle. But that same lion, if he or she walked around in the jungle looking defeated, boy, oh boy, the other predators in the wild will take liberty at attacking that lion. So it's communicate clearly and confidently with your tiger's eyes, confident look in your eye, and your lion's voice, which is bold, direct, and communicating clearly and confidently, which is also how I ask parents to communicate with your kids, but also kids to communicate with their parents and teachers and trusted adults. Nobody's going to listen to somebody whining. So I go over all that in the book. So thank you, Gordon, for helping me out with that. And D is the last resort. Defend yourself if necessary, if you're physically attacked. And what we talk about is the most effective but safe technique that I teach the police officers and law enforcement, which is a palm strike to the solar plexus to knock the wind out of the person to stop the attack. And it doesn't do any long-term damage. It's the most effective non-lethal technique you can do, and it doesn't do any damage once again to the face. And it's a way of pushing away. And I go over all those in the book. So, Danica, thank you very, very much. And my man Dan jumped on there. Way to finish the book and get it launched. Way to go. Thank you, Dan. God bless you, brother. And ask me about tigers when we chat. I will definitely do that, Gordon. Thank you for that. So let me read the back real quick. I want to keep this short and sweet, but man, we're getting all kinds of questions, which I absolutely love the interaction. So please continue. And what was the other thing I said I was going to talk about? How it helps. Well, it helps by empowering kids, parents, teens, and adults with hope, courage, the self-confidence to believe in themselves to stand up to any bully they face, both real and, as we already alluded to, in your mind. And the bully in your mind, I call it the meanest, nastiest bully we'll ever face. The one we hear that tells us all about the limiting beliefs and self-doubt that we were told when we were in third grade that we weren't good enough or smart enough or we couldn't read. We oftentimes value the opinion of someone who doesn't know us far more than we value the opinion of what we truly know to be true about ourselves. But when we believe those lies, before we know it, we start believing those lies are the truth. And I'm telling you, they're not. We're all gifted with our own individual God-given talent, something different than anybody else. So our friends on there, Danica and Dan and Gordon, you've got a talent that I'll never, ever possess. But oftentimes, as kids, even as adults, we try and emulate others in hopes of being, a cheap replica, as opposed to being the one and only unique gift from God that we were designed to be. And that's self-doubt. So we talk about empowerment. So that's how it helps. Empowering kids, parents, teens, and adults with the hope, self-confidence, and courage that I never had as a kid, and even as an adult for a long time. But it's in here, baby. And I'm telling you, it's worked. I've taught now, I've been blessed for 35 years, so I've learned that what doesn't work, what does work, and I'm constantly tweaking and changing. So it's a life lesson of everything I've learned from my mentors and my guides and my instructors and my teachers and my coaches. And then I've kind of tweaked it and added my own special touch to help out with my kind of hyperactive personality and being poor growing up on a farm and always being told I wasn't ever going to amount to anything. Those are some of the weeds that I talk about in the book. So let me read the back here. It says, can Logan find the strength within himself to overcome his fears and stand up to his bullies once and for all? Is that spicy? All right. It says 12-year-old Logan is a quiet, big-hearted middle school kid who just wants to fit in. But as it often happens, his kind heart is a magnet for bullies. And after his mom sees a video of Logan being physically bullied in the locker room, she reaches out to her brother, a master martial arts instructor. And with the help of his uncle, Logan discovers what it means to finally start believing in himself. But after an unfortunate encounter with his two nemesis, he loses hope and becomes paralyzed with fear as all the painful memories of the past come flooding back. And that's a big part because Logan starts to get his confidence built up, and then he runs into his two nemesis, which you'll read about in the book, and is just crushed. And then that's my whole job as the older me to pick him not only back up again, but then teach him how to stand on his own 2 feet on his own, knowing that I won't always be there for him. And then to finish, join us on an epic journey of highs and lows with easy to follow lessons that will teach you, along with Logan, how to believe in yourself to become bully-proof. And then it says, Rich Grogan's childhood journey is echoed in becoming bully-proof. Now a master martial artist and full of life lessons, he is guiding his younger self through all the struggles to become his own bully-proof hero. These are lessons, and as Grogan wishes, were available to him when he was younger. So basically, everything in here is everything I wish I would have known when I was younger in order to, not go down some, I spent some time in some dark places. And once again, just being transparent here. And those dark places are extremely tough to get out of. And the longer we wallow in those dark places, or the longer those weeds take root in our mental garden, the harder it is to dig them up, and the harder it is to find the light, to find the hope, to find the faith in order to dig our way out. So this is a guide that I wish I would have had. It's a guide that I'm blessed to be able to put out, and hopeful that millions will take an opportunity to read, share, and help empower others. And Danica said, society has been perpetuating the world's identity. Yes, yeah. Thank you for helping right the horrible wrong by helping kids now who are. Yeah, gosh dang, Danica. Um, I'm almost speechless reading that. You are spot on 1 gazillion%. And Gordon says truth and amen. Yeah, that it's the line I talk about a lot in this book too, which sometimes people don't want to hear, but what I try and share in here, being as transparent and honest, open as I possibly can. Same message I share at the Academy. I am not a believer in everybody gets a trophy, or everybody gets a martial arts belt, or everybody gets an A. And the reason I'm not a believer in that is because we don't teach kids to learn to overcome small challenges and small battles and learn to stand on their own 2 feet, or like to say, spoon feed themselves. Then they're never going to learn how to overcome larger challenges and larger battles. And what ends up happening is those kids, when they've never ever learned how to overcome those small battles, when life hits them with the big challenges, as it does, that is what has led to suicide being the second leading cause of death for ages 10 to 34. So we evaluate the Academy on attitude and effort, and that is a huge part of the book. Everybody has the choice to have the right attitude. I like to say the attitude is the fuel. The fuel is your mind to push and drive you to do your very, very best. And your effort is actually just applying yourself. So we never evaluate on athletic ability or talent, because I don't think that's right, because some kids are just multi-gifted athletes and other kids aren't. You know, some kids are really good at musically inclined, other kids aren't. You know, some kids are great athletes, other kids aren't. But everybody can choose to put forth or have the right attitude and put forth the right amount of effort if they're guided and directed and pushed in the right direction. And that's all I want, because I can't be there for them, parents can't be there for them, but what we can do is instill them with the tools to learn how to stand on their own 2 feet, to learn how to fight those battles and overcome those challenges, and that is what's going to help them become bully proof. Giving them an A they didn't earn or deserve, or a belt they didn't earn, is not going to protect them in any way, shape, or form. Knowing that they worked hard and did their very, very best, knowing that they earned it, that teaches self-respect. And self-respect is something no one can ever, ever take away. And self-respect is what protects people and builds up that inner core strength, that bully-proof armor. And one question I get asked all the time, why do I think there's so much disrespect in the world? There's so much disrespect in the world because there's so little self-respect. When people don't respect themselves, then they don't give a hoot about disrespecting somebody else's property or their person themselves or people's feelings. And my whole goal is to make society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live by empowering people with that self-respect. But I can't give it to you. Respect is earned, but it's earned from what you believe truly about yourself. So there we go. We got to collaborate on our missions, our definite major purpose, our alignment, brother. God bless you, Gordon. Thank you, and amen, and 100% truth. Well, golly, folks, thanks you so much for Gordon and Danica and Dan and so many other friends that have popped up on the line. And please chime in with your questions here. I'm blessed beyond words to be able to talk about this and to share this and to share the book with the audiences. And as I've asked all day long, if you would please pick up a copy for yourself and for someone else, and please share this with others to help empower them, because I tell you, there's nothing more hurtful or just hurtful, I guess is the best word I can put up here, than a child who is defeated or debilitated in their own mind, that they don't feel they're worthy of anything. It's horrible. It really, really is. And like I said, I get parents call every single day and text message or emails or at the Academy. It's one of the biggest things we focus on, empowerment. And I say empowerment as opposed to inspiration or motivation, because I believe empowerment is lighting that flame, baby. It's almost like a pilot light, and that flame is always lit. And we can always turn it up if we need to, but then we can turn it down and be calm and be passive. But we're always carrying ourselves in a calm, cool, collective, confident manner, and that's the C. And those ABCs work hand in hand, and they're taught in the book, but it all gets back to, once again, that attitude and effort, which builds that self-respect. And to me, that is the most powerful thing there is. When you respect yourself, you can accomplish absolutely anything. That doesn't mean you're not going to have challenges. Doesn't mean life's not going to pop you in the chops, or I like to say, pound you, or as Rocky says, the world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. Life doesn't. But you have that inner core belief in yourself. You're able to get right back up and fight another round, because now you've got the resilience. Now you got the perseverance. Now you got the attitude to say, all right, baby, is that all you got in life? Bring it on, baby, because I'm ready. And by having that, now you can use that gift to empower others. And that's the gift. Once you become your own bully-proof hero, now you can share that message and empower others to become their own bully-proof hero. And the more bully-proof heroes we got out there, baby, that's how we make society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live. Gordon, gotta run. Zoom coffee with CL member. God bless you, Gordon. Thank you so much for the day and for everything. Danica, everyone at every age needs to know that no matter who they are and no matter what they do, especially kids. You're right, Danica. God bless you, and thank you for the connection, and thank you for helping with all your love and support and promoting this. So I'm going to hop here. Please, in about an hour, I'm going to jump back on, and I'm actually going to read the foreword, which was written by a really, really good, close personal friend, Chip Townsend, and he's a master martial artist as well. And along with that, I'm gonna read part of the first chapter. So make sure you tune in. I'm gonna tease everybody and put up an event notice, so we'll get more people on here and hearing the foreword and the first chapter. God bless everybody. Thank you so very much. Please share this with someone that you know could benefit from this message. Talk to you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.